All right, Eagles fans, can you feel that Philly fire igniting? It's week 3, and your undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, sitting pretty at 2-0, are gearing up for a blockbuster clash against the 2-0 Los Angeles Rams. But here's the headline that's got South Philly buzzing. Dallas Goedert, our all-pro tight end, is back in the lineup after missing last week's gritty 20-17 win over Kansas City with a sprained knee. He was a full go in Friday's practice, ready to roll with a brace and a whole lot of heart. Buckle up, Birds Nation. Let's dive into this matchup, break it down, and sort through what it means for our Super Bowl dreams. First, the big news straight from the Lynx practice fields. Goedert, that 30-year-old South Dakota State stud who's been Jalen Hurts' favorite safety valve since 2018, tweaked his knee in our Week 1 slugfest against the Dallas Cowboys. He gutted out that game, but sat against the Chiefs after medical staff played it cautious. Goedert was begging to play, but the docs held firm. Smart move. Now he's back, full speed Friday after limited reps earlier in the week. That brace on his knee? Just a minor accessory for a guy who's about to make life miserable for the Rams linebackers. The rest of the squad? Looking sharp, with all 53 active roster players hitting the field Friday. But we got a couple of injury notes. Rookie running back Will Shipley's out again with an oblique strain, missing his second straight game. A.J. Dillon, our bruising backup, will spell Saquon Barkley. And keep an eye on Tank Bigsby, our trade pickup who debuted as a kick returner last week. He could snag a few carries if needed. Backup QB Tanner McKee's questionable with fractured thumb, but looked comfy tossing in practice. He might reclaim QB2 duties from trade acquisition Sam Howell, who's been solid as an emergency guy. On defense, Jalen Carter's shoulder and Byron Young forehead laceration shook off scares and are good to go. This roster is deep, folks. Depth that screams championship contender. Now, let's talk X's and O's, because Goedert's return flips the script. Without him, we leaned on A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith to stretch the field, but Dallas brings that seam-splitting magic. In 2022, he racked up 702 yards and 3 scores, a matchup nightmare over the middle. Against a Rams secondary giving up 250 passing yards a game, expect Nick Sirianni to dial up play-action looks, with Goedert exploiting soft zones. Picture this. Hurts fakes to Barkley, rolls out, and hits Dallas for a red zone dagger. That's the Philly special we've missed. The Rams, led by Sean McVay's offensive genius, counter with Matthew Stafford's laser arm and Koren Williams' ground game. But our D-line, with Carter's 1.5 sacks already, is a brick wall, holding teams to 78 rushing yards per game. If we keep Stafford off balance, Young and Carter crash in the pocket, we could force those hurried throws into Darius Slay's hands. Offensively, Dillon's power running sets up the pass, keeping LA's tempo in check. It's a chess match, but Sirianni's at the pieces to checkmate. Let's zoom out for some history, because this team's got that Philly DNA. Rewind to 2017, Nick Foles, the backup-turned-legend, outdueling Tom Brady for our first Super Bowl, a 41-33 masterpiece. Fly, Eagles Fly rang out, fans flooding Broad Street in green. That spirit lives in today's squad. Jalen Hurts, our dual-threat maestro, is 20-3 as a starter, slinging 4 touchdowns with 0 picks this year. A.J. Brown's 185 receiving yards have defenses shook, while Devonta Smith's silky routes average 15 yards a pop. And Saquon Barkley? The Penn State star's 142 rushing yards scream MVP. This is a team echoing legends like Reggie White, who piled up 198 sacks, or Brian Dawkins, whose pre-snap snarl still haunts QBs. We're scoring 28 points a game, tops in the NFC East, and our defense, allowing to 17 points, is 3rd best in the NFL. The Rams? They're dropping 31 points, but leaking big plays. Historically, Eagles teams starting 2-0 hit the playoffs 80% of the time since 2017. With Goedert back, a 3-0 start feels like destiny. For some insider juice, imagine this locker room scoop. Goedert, wiping sweat post-practice, flashes at Midwest grin. Sitting out hurt worse than the knee, man. I'm ready to ball with Jalen and the boys. Sirianni, all fire at the podium, adds, Dallas is our glue. Shipley's out, but Dillon and Bigsby step up. That's Philly next man up. A tailgate diehard, face-painted green roars. Goedert's back? We're Super Bowl bound. Fly, Eagles, fly. Even Hurts drops a gem. Dallas opens everything up. We're a family, and he's a heartbeat. That's the pulse of this team, grit, heart, and a chip on their shoulder. Looking ahead, a win Sunday puts us at 3-0, owning the NFC East before a gauntlet of Giants and Commanders games. Playoff odds? We're at 92%, eyeing a top 2 seed. Goedert's return could push us past 12 wins, especially if Hurts keeps his 68% completion rate humming. If Shipley's injury lingers, we might scout it back in the draft. But for now, it's all about January. The Rams lose and their hype dims. Stafford's arm is elite, but our pass rush could expose their line. Fictional analyst Mike Quick says, Eagles D is relentless. Sirianni outschemes McVay here. Philly by a touchdown. I'm calling a 27-24 thriller. Goedert with the clutch grab. Quick trivia to keep you locked in. Fly, Eagles fly, started as a 1991 Glenn Campbell riff. Now our victory anthem. Our Cowboys rivalry? We lead 52-48 all time. Pure NFC East heat. Pop culture nod. With the eagle-eyed Docuseries hitting streaming soon, reliving that 17 run, this squad feels like the sequel. Hurts as the new Foles, Barkley as McCoy 2.0. So, Eagles fans, it's time to crank up the volume. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern, SoFi Stadium. It's a must-see showdown. Grab your gear, rally the crew, and let's make some noise. With Goedert back, this team's ready to soar. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's keep this dream alive.